have David Benavidez versus David Lemieux coming up sometime in the spring, around April time. I haven't seen a definite date, so I'm just here to give my early prediction because that fight's been confirmed. Should be a rather interesting fight, and I'll get into that in a second. So let's look at David Lemieux, man. Record 43 wins, 4 losses, 36 wins coming by way of knockout. His 4 losses, he's been knocked out 2 times. And those 2 knockouts were Gennady Golovkin back in 2015, and he was knocked out by Marco Rubio back in 2011. Both technical knockouts. So David Lemieux has never been like flatline knocked out. Yeah, the ref stopped both the fights. So as a fighter, he has a lot of power. He's a power puncher. He's at 76% KO rating. 36 of his fights out of 36 of his wins from the 43 wins were knockouts. So not very many of his fights that went to the card. And when he fought Gennady Golovkin, everybody was like, oh my God, we got 2 big, heavy punchers. But it's clear Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, he was much more technical, more skilled than David Lemieux. He picked David Lemieux apart, man, and he took his shots and like it was nothing, like a baby was punching him damn near. And David Lemieux couldn't even connect all the way most of the time on Golovkin anyway, because Golovkin was giving him so much work. You know what I mean? He was throwing David Lemieux off his game most of that fight, man. How would this fight look? And what's the prediction? Because we got David Lemieux. He has great power, excellent power. Not the quickest. He's 33 years old. He's not old, but he's not young either. He's in his prime right now. Last fight was in 2021, June, against David Lagara. He knocked him out. David Lemieux's last 2 fights were both knockouts at 168. His regular losses, besides the 2 knockouts, Billy Joe Saunders to a unanimous at 160. That was like 2017, and he had another. It was the fuck is MD? To Joaquim Alcine, if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And the fight, it says here, won by MD. What the hell is MD, dude? These damn box reg with they damn abbreviations and shit, man. MD. I don't know what the fuck MD is. I'm tripping. I know it's decision. I don't know what the M part of decision means. But David Lemieux lost that fight. But anyway, back to the scrap between David Lemieux and David Benavidez. David Benavidez, no footwork, very fast hands, good power, and very tall, lengthy, taller than David Lemieux. This should be a rather interesting fight. I think this fight is going to mostly be in the phone booth, man. Up until this fight, more than likely, somebody's gonna get knocked out in this fight. I already can see it. Keep in mind, David Lemieux has been knocked out twice by technical knockout, like I said earlier. David Benavidez has never been knocked out. He's been dropped, though. He's been dropped early on in his career. Never been knocked out. And I've never seen David Benavidez really hurt yet. Could this be the guy that can hurt David Benavidez? I mean, really hurt him? Quite possible, because like I said, David Lemieux is in his prime. And we all know power is the last to go, man. Power, he's still young. 33 years old is still young. With that being said, can David Lemieux handle David Benavidez's power as well? Don't know yet. We'll have to see. I think it's going to go like this. Pretty much it's going to probably be a phone booth fight for a little while. You're going to see them mixing it up. And you're not going to see a lot of outboxing, especially from David Benavidez, unless his team decides to change it up and say, well, like, we might have to be a little cautious here. This is probably one of the biggest punchers that you faced. And let me go, matter of fact, while I'm here, let me check out David Benavidez's record. Let me see how many so-called punchers he's faced as of yet. It says here he has 22 wins, 25 wins, 22 wins by way of knockouts. David Benavidez's knockout ratio was higher than David Lemieux's, 88%. As you know, David Lemieux has more fights, so the more fights you get, the likelihood not all, you're going to get into these fights where you're going to run into decisions, so that's why David Lemieux's record, his KO rating is a little lower than David Benavidez. It says here, Anthony Durrell was a pretty decent puncher. Shit, man. This is what I'm saying. A lot of these dudes here, I don't know some of these dudes. I don't know who a lot of these dudes are, but I know who Ron Gavril is. That's the guy that knocked him down in their first fight. He had 20 wins, 16 wins by way of knockout. He has, that's pretty decent power as well. So that's probably what put David Benavidez on his ass. But David Benavidez came back in a second fight and unanimous decision on that one. The other one was a split decision. It was a little closer than the first fight. But David Benavidez, man, he hasn't faced many big punchers, man. Stay tuned for a chin check series on David Benavidez. I don't know when, probably another week, because I have a bunch of other ones lined up for this week. So his will be here soon. But I would say maybe Anthony Durrell and Ron Gavril. I would say that's probably the only two decent punchers that he's faced. And I think David Lemieux hits harder than both of those dudes. So this fight, I believe David Benavidez is going to have to be a little bit more cautious. You can't just run in there just throwing punches without tucking your chin. I am certain, hopefully, his team will teach him that, because this guy can possibly definitely knock David Benavidez out. But I'm pretty sure he can definitely knock him down. So the team, they're gonna have to be a little bit more cautious with this one. But with that being said, I see David Lemieux. He doesn't have the best, greatest defense. So I see David Lemieux being overwhelmed again by those flurries that David Benavidez throws. His chance of beating David Benavidez, he's gonna have to clip him with something real heavy that David don't see coming, or he's not preparing to block, or he's being overly aggressive and reckless, and he catch him with something, and then that could change the fight. But for the most part, I think David Benavidez, man, his bread and butter is his speed. It's more of his speed more than the power. It's like combined. But when you got somebody throwing all these punches at you like that, it's hard to, he's resetting you. You're getting reset all the time. You can't really get into your rhythm. He's always sticking, and a punch is always in your face. So that's what's probably going to happen. David Lemieux is much too slow to evade most of those flurries, man. So what I see happening is I see a knockout. I see a stoppage, kind of similar to what Triple G did to him. Probably round 6. I'm giving it 6 rounds. So my prediction for this fight is David Benavidez by technical knockout, 6th round. This is Rebel Life Boxing. You heard it here first. I'll catch you guys later on the next one. And I'm off this. Peace.